So we're counting off the last 30 days of springtime as the sun is off to the summer solstice, when daytime is longest and the night is shortest. And after that, the days are only getting shorter. So that last bit of rising and growing energy is all collected in the chaotic, mutable air sign of Gemini, with the dominant phrase I think. So there is an order in that chaos. And if you and I also find that balance in ourselves, we can evolve into the woman that chooses the man over the bear, or the man that is chosen over the bear. Because it's all about balance between the instinct, the logic, and the gut feeling, the intuition, which is both ruled by Mercury, ruler of Gemini and this upcoming season. So the Gemini is really good at switching between the masculine duality, which is the light, outer directed, and energetic side, and the feminine duality, which is the dark, inner, reserved, and receptive side. But it's not just about switching between both because we can all do that. Everyone has a Gemini placement. And if it's not a planet in Gemini, it's Mercury, the ruler of Gemini and Virgo. But it's not just about switching, it's about making up the balance. And if you can make up the balance, you are balanced enough and stable enough that no one can throw any dirt in your face, let alone the dirt thrown in your face will be the fruitful soil of your many successes. Just like Kendrick Lamar, who found the balance in everything. He's my favorite rapper, so I had to talk about him. But everyone has had an overload of Kendrick Lamar, I bet. And if you have an overload in social media, which we have been having for the past 12 to 13 years, as Jupiter is coming back into Gemini this upcoming season. And Jupiter was in Gemini last 12 to 13 years ago, and we were offered like paying with your phone, and we said we would never do that, but look at us now, paying with our phones, ordering through our phones, never seen it, never felt it, but we want to have it. So there may be a lot of new technology coming up, a lot of new social media coming up as Gemini rules technology and the social contacts. But if it's coming up, you always have the choice to say, I'm not interested, or I'm going to block this because it's not of any value to you. We can all control the algorithm, let alone our own algorithm. So take your power, do what you need to do. And if you need to if you want to block it, block it. If you're not interested, let it be known so it can show you things that you are interested in, especially this upcoming year with Jupiter in Gemini. So just a little side note, but I remember like last year, 2 years ago, I was spammed a lot with this like Stephen LeBoucher or something. So last year I said, this thing he said, a spiritual woman will never be a wealthy woman, and a wealthy man will never be a spiritual man. I think he took it back because never say never, but I think he meant something like the balance again. A spiritual woman is too much in her intuition, enough in her intuition to be spiritual, but not to be wealthy. A wealthy man is a lot in his instinct, following his logic, and not enough into his intuition to be spiritual. So it's all about making up that balance, and we all have the power to make it up. I mean, a lot of dudes have been dissecting those rap battles the past few weeks, so you cannot tell me otherwise. A lot of women have helped with works of Kendrick Lamar, especially like We Cry Together. Understand the assignment and execute the assignment. We are very capable of that. Find the balance, baby. Be healed. Either way, a little gem for like everyone. You are your biggest asset, so invest in yourself most. As everything is going out of Taurus, so the planet of the self worth. It's first encountering Neptune in a feminine sextile, and eventually, as it enters Gemini, it will be in an outer sign sextile. But the planet will be in a masculine air sign. So really think about it, talk about it, use your words, please, or whatever communication is coming to you, because Gemini and Mercury communication is more than just those words you can read, those words you can hear, those words you can see. I mean, like traffic signs were something weird at first, but now they're common, so we can read them immediately. But it's also about the things you can't read immediately, like all those numbers coming to you. Remember last month I had a lot of 420 coming to me, but it's also the 222, 333, whatever, and all the other kinds of divination. If tarot is speaking to you, step into your tarot business, step into your femininity, listen to your intuition and your gut feeling. on whatever level is suiting you. We're getting down the basics. We're getting down the basics. Either way, as it's exiting, planets are exiting Taurus, it will also be in a practical Earth trine with Lilith. Lilith, those suppressed things. So practically, we actually don't have to do. Practically, we could use it for, and eventually, as it will be entering Gemini, a masculine air sign again. So really think about it, and it's a mutable sign. Change your way of thinking. In Dutch, we say omdenken. It means rethinking, but like going around. It's not just, I'll be talking about it with the Mercury rising, but it will be in a masculine air trine with Pluto in retrograde. So really omdenken, rethink. There's no word for it in English, but it's not like rethink, revisit the thought, but think about it differently. I'll talk about it with Mercury for the Gemini and the Virgo risings. But first, we're off to the Leo risings. Welcome to Gemini season. The Sun will be moving in your 11th house from 0 degrees until 29 degrees. And yeah, like I said, be your own biggest asset. As the 11th house rules the future orientation, it rules your innovation. And again, you are your biggest asset, as everything just came out of Taurus, what you possess in your 10th house of how you present yourself to your public life. And the full moon will be in an opposition of the 11th house, and the 11th house represents your fans. Be your own biggest fan, as in opposition, we have the 5th house, and it's the artist in you. The full moon will be shining in Sagittarius in your 5th house of your own creativity, your romance, your leisure. Be your own biggest fan, be your own biggest asset, and invest in yourself like you are your future, because you are your future. For our Cancer risings, the moon will be starting at 25 degrees in Libra. So in Libra, it has encountered the South Node, which is the comfort zone we need to take our lessons out of so we can grow. And this has been happening every month, so you know that it's a time to make your comfort zone something portable, something you can take with you. But let's not talk too much about that, as the full moon will be happening on 2 degrees in Sagittarius. So this will be happening in your 6th house of work, habits, and routines. But as this happens at the start of Sagittarius, 2 degrees, this may also happen in your 5th house of romance, creativity, and leisure, how you spend your free time. So note that for yourself. But off to the full moon Sagittarius 2 degrees, which is the Taurus degree ruled by Jupiter in Taurus. And Taurus for you is in your 11th house of the growth and expansion of your future orientations. How do you see yourself going around with your peers? How do you really feel about this? Because let's not forget, Cancer risings, in your season, everything is going to be in T square with the North Node and the South Node, as they are also in cardinal signs. And it's going to be all about the feelings. Nurture your feelings now already so you can be ready when it's your season before it all hits you at once. Everyone has been hit at once, but we don't want you to get too much in your feelings. Either way, incorporate a routine for comfort, because in the 6th house is all about routine, work, and habits. 5th house is all about leisure and freedom and how you express yourself. You can't really express yourself if you're not comfortable with it. So incorporate a routine. Again, something you can take with you to say, I am still comfortable even though I am in new terrains. Because we're off to the last quarter in Pisces. And Pisces is the last quarter is all about letting things go so we can grow. In your 9th house of higher knowledge and expansion, and again, that new terrain. It's not been done before, it's unknown terrain, it's a new journey. So maybe, like Pisces, make it a little dream, romanticize it as you're on your way anyway. This last quarter will be ruled by Neptune in Pisces. And Neptune is about making it all a dream. Like Biggie said, it was all a dream, baby. But let's go on, interpret this for your own, as we're off to the new moon in Gemini, which will be happening in your 12th house, the subconscious, the dreams again. Follow your gut and nurture your own thoughts, nurture your own feelings to feel unstuck in this mutable season because the crab always moves sideways. Have you ever seen a crab like walking straight? Well, either way, maybe it's time for a direct approach this time. And really follow your gut as this new moon will be happening on 16 degrees, the Cancerian degree, and the Cancer is all about nurturing, giving care, and you first. So, how do you really feel about everything that's happening to you subconsciously? New moon, 12th house. Either way, off to the first quarter in Virgo, which will be happening in your third house of communication and basic knowledge. And let's take a practical approach, straightforward approach to your basic knowledge for a minute, because the full moon, sixth house, last quarter, ninth house, new moon, 12th house, and the first quarter in your third house. These are all houses of endings. What needs to end? What in your gut, in your feeling, do you know? You need to put a point behind it. Follow your own gut. You know exactly what it is. And if you don't believe me, just look at your chart. And if these are not houses of endings for you, just look at your chart. You know what you need to do. Gemini rising. Let's get into Mercury. After it came back out of that retrograde in the cardinal fire sign of Aries, you really came out swinging. Well, more power to you. But just a side note to the other people watching, watch the Virgos. They have been a little too quiet the last few days, have they not? Either way, everyone's transforming in their own way, but as Mercury has been moving in your 12th house, in your subconscious, you came out swinging, and it is your full right. But remember what we said with Mercury, your ruling planet, in the conjunction with the North Node? Where are we going exactly? Define yourself in 3 words. Because, yeah, you can always go deeper. Omdenken, let's go into that again. Because I define myself as a strong Yoruba woman, but that's like a tautology, I don't really know. But strong and Yoruba is kind of like the same. So I am a Yoruba woman. So I have an extra word to like define myself because Yoruba is so much. I'm talented, I'm strong, I'm multifaceted, and I'm a woman, so I'm talented, I'm strong, I'm multifaceted and surprising. But I'm also a wealthy Yoruba woman. And what does wealth really mean to you? What do all those things really mean to you? Those 3 words, how you define yourself, and go deeper in that stuff. Especially as Jupiter is entering your sign, of course. You can do everything as Mercury is entering your first house. I think about this, I'm capable of it. This, you can calm the titties down, please, and focus because yeah, jack of all trades or a master is a master of none, but a master of one is better than a master of none. Either way, you want to be a jack or you want to be a master. Eventually your ruling planet will enter your second house of self-worth again. How do those things define you? How does your trade, how does your skill, how does your knowledge define you? Really think about that because where do you want to go? Those 3 little words, 3 little birds again. And we're off to the Virgo rising. Same to you, those 3 words, but I have a gut feeling that you have been analyzing, that you have been planning meticulously. Do whatever you need to do, love. Either way, your ruling planet, Mercury, will be moving from your ninth house, higher knowledge, expanding. I see now, I see clearly now. To your 10th house, the public life, how you present yourself, your legacy, and what you leave behind. And to the 11th house, your future orientation and how you innovate. So let's say you are getting your degree. What that degree do though, and where do you see your future going? Muggenseizoen. Either way, what are you? What does that higher knowledge do? What is this expansion that you've gained over the past 7 years? As Uranus has been moving there, and it's almost over. So as Uranus is entering your 10th house, what that degree do? What that higher knowledge do? What does that new vision do? And in your 10th house, you're going to define all this, that. But where do you really see your future going? So define yourself now, and define your public image now, your legacy, your reputation. So your future is already set. But yeah, you've been planning already. Now you know where you're planning towards. The future, of course. For our Taurus and Libra risings, Venus is moving shortly after Mercury, the planet of communication and our thoughts. So we're thinking before we are really creating. For our Taurus risings, Venus will be moving from your first house of your self identity, how you present yourself to the world, and how you approach situations, to your second house of self worth. And as we have expanded, found this new sense of self, our sense of comfort is also growing. So, what is stopping you from letting it be known? Let another know that this is your new comfort, this is your new standard, and this is how you should be treated, especially as Venus will be entering your third house of communication, and which will be ruled by Cancer. And Cancer is also all about the feelings. Are you feeling secure as you are expanding and having this new sense of worth with the people around you? Because the third house is also your neighborhood, so your direct vicinity. Are those people really respecting you, who you are, and who you are becoming? If not, nothing is stopping you from saying, "Not here, my buddy." Either way, off to the Libra risings, Venus will be moving from your 8th house, your desires, your ninth house, higher education and expansion, to your 10th house, your public life and your public presentation. So last month we said we would like to have a partner that also shares the same sense of value as us. But even though if you end up alone in your 10th house or together, do not lose that keen sense of value that has brought you as far as you are right now. That has brought you all the desires that you have desired until now. And maybe we have to be a little patient, but let me make it up to you for last month because Saturn. I also said almost Saturn will be moving retrograde almost. What does Saturn have to do with me? Saturn loves it in you. Remember that? Saturn loves the fact that you take your time to make a well weighed decision. So when Saturn is starting to move retrograde, all the karma will come, honey, and your patience will definitely be paid. Thank you for being patient with me for last month. But either way, your 8th house of desires, it's your keen sense of value that has brought you here. Do not lose it. Just do it again because it is what we know you for. And if you don't like it, it's exactly this what brought you here. So change it. Sometimes we do need to change it. You know, we're almost going into Cancer season, and Cancer is the house, the home life, and Cancer for you is in the 10th house, so the public life. You have to be good at home before you can be good in the public. So remember what I said in the resolutions guidelines video that I have to do over, but I also lived in the decomposing. I also lived in the decomposing cycle. You have to be in the composing cycle. But yeah, we'll talk about that again shortly. What I hope you know what? Thank you for your patience again. Aries Rising. You got this, buddy. Hold on there, because we're almost there. In a conjunction with the North Node, I act on who I am, wanting to be. This is where I'm going, and keep on going. Because if you start to weaken, or if you start to give up, or if you do not succeed, you are showing the haters that they were right. And if they think they're right, they're going to be like, see, everything sucks and nothing's going to succeed and all your efforts are for nothing. And it's not. You are the natural leader, remember? Aries Sun, Aries Risings, Aries Moon. You are the natural leader. So you need to persevere. And you got this. Because the haters are only hating you because you are succeeding. Eventually, Mars, your ruling planet, was in a conjunction in your home sign with, in your first house, but in a conjunction with Chiron, the wounded healer. So even though you have that wound, you can still heal. But in order to heal, you need to persevere. And Saturn is almost moving retrograde. So Saturn in retrograde, the karma is coming, Father Time is letting go and stuff. And Saturn hates it in you because you are not patient. Show him you can be patient, love. Show him that you are succeeding. Sagittarius Rising, your ruling sign Jupiter has been in the spotlight, hasn't it? As it will be moving in its detriment sign furthest from home. upcoming month. It will also be the ruling planet of the full moon of this upcoming month in Sagittarius on 2 degrees. So let's take note first that 2 degrees at the beginning of Sagittarius may be in your first house of self identity, how you approach the world, in an opposition with the sun in your seventh house of partners, relationships, and public enemies. Let's not forget that. Or it may be in your 12th house of your spiritual self, your higher self, your dreams, and your unconscious, subconscious, in an opposition with the sun in your sixth house of work, habits, and routines. Let's take note of that first as we're going to your ruling planet, Jupiter, which will be moving from your sixth house of work, habits, and routines, definitely, eventually, into your seventh house, its detriment of Gemini. And it doesn't like to be in Gemini because Gemini is like here, there, everywhere. I got a bit for you, I got a bit for you, and mutable fire. Of course, you have some, but will those people also be a return of investment? Because we need to think about the return of investment. Look at me, listen to me when I tell you this. Jupiter will first be moving in its detriment in Gemini, but afterwards it will be moving exalted in Cancer. And Cancer is definitely somewhere your eighth house, your desires. Are you feeling aligned with your desires? Because it will not be happening for the upcoming 12 to 13 years after that. So be very sure. Stop changing, stop adjusting. You have been adjusting for the past 7 years with Uranus in your sixth house. Pick something and stick with it. So you can also find the right people, the right surroundings to stick with you as your desires are coming towards you. Frick. I don't know why, but I feel really serious about this. Reflect on your surroundings, please. Capricorn Rising, I am not going to be hard with you. I am just going to be short and straight with it. Because Saturn, your ruling planet, is almost moving retrograde in your third house of basic knowledge and communication. So I told you, get your basic knowledge on, but you can slow down now. You have done enough. I know that because Saturn will be moving retrograde on the 29th of June. So it's already slowing down and giving everything and everyone its karma. So remember this momentum so when it comes back, you know where to pick up again. Trust me, believe me, Jupiter is in your 11th house of hopes, aspirations, and where you're building your future towards. You got this, as long as you've been having this. Aquarius rising, I can't even be hard with you. I can just be fun with you because Uranus, your ruling planet, is moving direct. All the other planets are almost moving retrograde, so it's like total destruction, total chaos, which we love with Uranus, and it's in Taurus, fixed Earth, so it's moving things around, shaking things around. How are you loving it? Because this is what you've been dreaming of, right? The future, community, destruction. How are you loving it? Because it's becoming your new normal. The comfort zone is adjusting to you. Or do you still have to adjust to the comfort zone? I think you still need to adjust to the comfort zone because we really need to start getting into the feelings and stuff if you've listened before. But this is because every community needs a leader. And you are the leader this community needs. So step into the role of a sensitive community leader. This is the role that the world is needing from you. Get comfortable with it now. Pisces rising, I have nothing to be laughing with you about. Get your facts straight because Neptune, your ruling planet, is almost moving retrograde on the 2nd of July in your first house or second house. Either way, it's about your own identity and your own self worth. And if it's hazy for you, how can you make it clear for someone else? It's time for the yearly introspection because get your facts straight. I am not telling you anything more. I hope you Scorpio risings aren't claiming Drake, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, good. Because this guy got so much into his feelings, even me and my mom had to laugh about it. But I'm only talking about it because Pluto is moving retrograde in your fourth house. And the fourth house can be a sensitive place because it's all about the comfort zone and the home life. And it's all being destroyed with Pluto moving retrograde. So we thought this is the basic skills, this is the basic knowledge as Pluto's moving back or is moving already in your third house of the basic knowledge that has been basic for the past 15, 14 years. And now there's only the destruction. So, what can you do? Embrace the truth. If you have been lied to, if there are rotten roots in your corner, you need to cut them off. Embrace the truth and let go of the feelings. Don't get in your feelings, get into your focus.